Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So, today we are going to talk about the DC primary. Nikki Haley winning, beating Donald Trump. We're going to talk about whether or not it matters, and the Trump campaign's response, and then the thing people need to remember about that response, because they came up with something that will probably play well to their base, as long as their base doesn't actually put any thought into it. So it'll probably work. Okay, so first, the news. Nikki Haley looks like she's going to win the Republican primary in D.C. Looks like she'll finish off with 62, 63% of the vote, somewhere in there. And Trump getting about 33%. Okay. So, almost as soon as the news broke that she was going to win, the Trump campaign started their spin on the loss. And basically saying that's because the swamp is behind her, calling Nikki Haley the queen of the swamp. The swamp is behind her. That's why she won in D.C. That will probably play well to Trump's base. The problem is everybody else realizes that that's just an admission of another Trump failure. I thought he was supposed to get rid of the swamp. He had 4 years, right? The Republican swamp should be gone. It shouldn't exist, because he promised his base that he was going to get rid of them. Apparently, he's an abject failure when it comes to that. 4 years. And I know people are going to say, but he's not president now. What, you think Biden brought back Republicans? You think that happened? Or maybe it's that the guy who, used his own hotels a lot and engaged in, let's just call it questionable activities, maybe he just wanted to be the biggest alligator in the swamp. And that's what he wants now. That's a possibility, right? I mean, because this poll, if you believe that it's those in the swamp who voted for Nikki Haley, I mean, it shows that that result kind of indicates he didn't even make an effort. And that would be an interesting question. How exactly did he drain the swamp during those 4 years? The 4 years when he was in power. When he was supposed to be doing all of those things that he told his base he was going to do, but really looks like nothing was accomplished. It's weird. The thing is, regardless of the reality and the fact that there is a lot of swampy activity associated with Trump as well, this is probably going to work. This is probably going to work with the MAGA base. It's going to energize them a little bit, because what they are going to see is that Trump wins, amongst the normal people. But in D.C., she wins the swamp. They're not going to chalk it up to the fact that she campaigned there. They're not really going to think about the fact that the real swamp monsters that they talk about, they actually maintain their home address and they vote in the various states. They're not going to entertain any of this because they just want the talking point, and they don't want to admit that dear leader failed last time. So this is probably going to work. As weird as this sounds, Nikki Haley winning may have been a bad thing for her, because it's going to resonate. The talking point will most likely succeed. It's patently false. It's not true. That isn't what occurred. But, I mean, when you are talking about this particular base, when has facts, truth, evidence, any of that ever got in the way of them continuing to support the person who objectively failed them repeatedly? Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.